Welcome to Successful Philanthropy. I'm Jean Shafiroff, your host. This show is designed to highlight the work of leaders here in the United States and then beyond. Today with us, a woman who's a real trailblazer. Her name, Sandra Wilkin. Sandra is the founder of Bradley Construction. She is also the co-founder and president of the Women Builders Council. In addition, she is the vice chair of CUNY. Let's all welcome Sandra Wilkin. How did you first get involved in the construction business?
Jean, it's great to be here with you, and thank you for all you have done in philanthropy. And you are my guide in terms of what one does to help and assess women in the industry. Thank you. When I started out, both in terms of college and then earlier on in high school, I really was thinking about what I'd like to do. And at that time, young women in high school, we wound up taking courses in stenography and in housekeeping and in millinery. So the focus was more about perhaps doing something that was more on a secretarial level or other levels to support business. I always had the feeling I wanted to do something in business, but did not quite know what I wanted to do. And then I saw on my black and white TV women marching down Fifth Avenue of New York in the 70s, in the early 70s. And it turned out to be Congresswoman Bella Abzug, Gloria Steinem, and Betty Friedan, and other women talking about doing other things and having an approach. It was the beginning of the feminist empowerment, and really decided that I wanted to do something more than perhaps just be, not that it's not a great profession as a secretary, was looking more to do something that was more non-traditional.
And so you started a construction company, which I find absolutely fascinating. And what year was that, Sandra?
Well, I then, because of the influence of the feminist movement, I looked at other opportunities. I took nursing courses. I took courses in business management. And by working on a project that was hospital related, realized that having to combine nursing, which I have a degree, I'm a registered nurse, and interested in building hospitals and other environments. So basically it took about 10 years or so, and started my own construction company. At that time, there was interest in New York with brand new legislation that invited minority and women businesses to look at coming into the building industry.
Sandra, so you started the company, and then you got involved in I guess, primarily public projects in New York State. And from what I've read about you, you are also the co-founder and the president of the Women's Builders Council. Now, I can talk about the Women's Builders Council, but I want you to, Sandra, as the co-founder and president.
The Women Builders Council, as we were interested in pursuing, my company pursuing work in the public arena, it was clear that that was an obstacle and a challenge for women-owned businesses. And the reason for that was because, quite frankly, the laws were absent, the policies were absent to encourage minority or women to come into the industry. And realizing that had to make change. The industry for women, although you feel that you feel uncomfortable in being here, it is a comfort in the sense of wanting to do more, to advocate for women to have opportunities within the building industry. So a group of us, a handful of us got together and decided that we wanted to look and change the laws in the city of New York and New York State so that the women going forward in the industry would have greater opportunity. And thus, we did that. And we did that both on a city and state level. So now there are landmark legislation to help minority and women businesses to have those opportunities.
And Sandra Wilkin, you are a real trailblazer, a woman who has started her own construction company and then also started a group to change legislation to make it easier for women to work in the field of construction in the state of New York. I just absolutely love what you've done. So very important. And Sandra, how difficult is it for women today in 2022 to work in the area of construction in the state of New York?
It's a great question. It is, the opportunities are better. We have a lot more work that needs to be done, but where it starts is in the school system and making sure that the STEM programs, which young gals and young boys can avail themselves from elementary schools to middle to high school and of course college, in STEM programs and STEAM programs. And the young gals that I meet at elementary school and of course in college, and honored to be the vice chair of the CUNY on the board of trustees, making sure that those paths continue so that to encourage more girls and more women to come into the building industry. It is a fantastic industry that need the ability of women to draw on and are so capable of providing those resources and availability. So as I said, we got a lot more to do in making sure that the women, once they take the programs, that the ramp is an on-ramp and not an off-ramp, and continue to make sure that women continue advocating for women, and that we continue making sure that more women are invited to be on boards too, and that will also make a difference.
And Sandra, what I'm hearing from you are two things. One, programs have to be in the school system so that encourage women and other people to get involved in all types of different careers, building and construction being just one career. The second thing I'm hearing from you is that opportunity has to exist and legislation has to be in place that encourages people to get involved in women, especially in the construction field. And thirdly, I'm hearing that women have to support women. And I think that is so key. Women have to support women, men have to support women. We all have to support each other And in your field, I see that you've started this Women Builders Council to support women going into the construction industry. And I just love that you as a woman have made opportunity for other women. And I want to thank you very much, Sandra Wilkin, for doing that, because if we don't make opportunity for one another, then who do we make opportunity for? We can't just think about ourselves. Now, Sandra Wilkin, you have recently been appointed the vice chair of CUNY, which is a very big role. You are a board member, but now you are vice chair. And CUNY educates somewhere between, I've heard about 300,000 students each year. And what an amazing position you're now in. And how do you view this role? And sounds to me like this volunteer position on the board could be a full-time job. What are your thoughts?
Well, it is an honor to be the vice chair. I was appointed by Governor Kathy Hochul to take on this role. I have been on the board as a trustee since 2017. The trustees that are there and our ability there is really to make sure that the policies and the procedures help the students and the faculty. And of course, this was and is an incredibly challenging time, especially for the students. But in speaking with the students, they are so remarkable, and they give you the incentive to make sure that you continue in making policies that are equitable, that are efficient, and continue to view the students from college to graduate classes to be one that would help them create their need in going out and helping others that are here. So my inspiration is looking and talking to the students that are part of this great university.
Congratulations. And for our audience, we are with Sandra Wilkin. She is the founder of Bradford Construction. She is the co-founder and president of the Women's Builders Council. And she is also the vice chair of CUNY, which educates about 300,000 students in New York State each year. And Sandra, speaking of education, what advice do you give to young people, both men and women, who are starting out maybe in high school? They don't know what path to take. How important is an education to those watching this show? And if not a college education, going to trade school?
It is the most important aspect of life, is obviously your health and education and the welfare of yourself and your family. We have at CUNY all the opportunities of not only taking courses to get degrees, but in workforce in and of itself. I can tell you that within the building industry, there is such a need to bring on not only graduates of engineering programs, for instance, but also the advanced technology that many of that you find in many of the colleges that are part of the CUNY system, and taking these courses to elevate your experience, not only to take courses for graduation, but also to take courses within the building industry that is there, and having a very successful life in terms of doing that.
Well, Sandra, someone like you sound like you work 24/7. Outside of your very intense career, do you like to socialize? What do you do? Because I think you're such a fascinating and really driven woman. And I'd like to know a little bit about, do you enjoy the theater? Do you enjoy New York City? Just a little bit, not too much, but it sure interests, I think, all of our viewers.
I enjoy going to the theater. I also enjoy being a grandma. Just my wonderful granddaughter is now going to be 2 years old, and watching her grow and doing, getting to see her and doing things with her, going to the park. It's a very different lifestyle to know that now that you have grown children in your life, and making sure that they have wonderful, wonderful opportunities, and seeing what she will be capable of is really where my heart and soul is, in terms of when I get a chance to be able to get to see her. She's in Boston, and going to school at the age of 2, of course, right? And learning things that are so important, but from there, and just being able to be with friends. Jean, as you are, just such a great inspiration in terms of meeting people as you have, and discussing their lives and ambitions and what they have done in terms of working in foundations is very much what I enjoy, and in particular is also having women and minority and diverse boards, public boards, and encourage that as an aspect for women to become members of various boards. And I always know and remember what Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm had to say, and that is that if you want a seat at a table, bring your folding chair. In other words, don't look to see if somebody else is bringing you along. Have the ability and the drive to get yourself there.
Very, very wise words. And Sandra, what's on the horizon for you as you look forward? Here you are, a high-powered businesswoman. You've had a family, or you have a family, and you've had time for socializing with friends. Sounds like you've really done it all. What's on the horizon? And as you look towards the future, what would you like to achieve?
Well, we see the goal in life is to do the very, very best that you can. The goal in life is clearly the best that you can do for yourself is truly to help others in that regard. And as you have said, and I try to follow in your footsteps, is to make a life by what you give. And I truly believe that. And as we have seen with the incredible women that are coming forward to be able to do that for others.
I love that you're so interested in helping those around you, and that philanthropy is so important to you. And really, Sandra Wilkin, you've lived a life of serving others and helping community. And when our lives, when we come to our end, I don't think there's anything more important than having a life where we help community, because Most of us will not be remembered for much of anything. I certainly don't think I will be remembered for much of anything. But when I look back on my life, I want to remember myself that I did the best that I could to help those around me and those in need. Sandra, we have about 2 minutes left. What would you like to add to this interview? And I want to thank you very much for your time, your words of inspiration, and also for the wonderful work you do.
Well, Jean, I can go on and on about you. I have seen the incredible work you have done in philanthropy. You are continuing to be known, not only remembered, but a legacy that you have for so many others to follow. And I think if there's any time in our life right now, is really to make sure that as we move forward, that we continue to bring so many others with us in any way that one can.
And I love those words. As we move forward, we bring others forward. And that's truly the work of Sandra Wilkin. Sandra, you have been an absolutely wonderful guest. You're a great inspiration to both men and women, and certainly a great inspiration to me. Thank you very much for the interview, and good luck with all the wonderful work you're doing, and continue on this great path. This concludes Successful Philanthropy. Our guest today, Sandra Wilkin. She is a businesswoman and philanthropist. She is the founder of Bradford Construction, the co-founder and president of the Women's Builders Council, and she is the vice chairman of CUNY. Thank you very much, Sandra. I'm Jean Shafiroff, your host. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.